Is the reason why you're not losing any weight because your metabolism is broken? Hi, my name is Jen Thomas from Jen Thomas Fitness and creator of Baby Bump Fitness. And I hear a lot of trendy buzz phrases such as, I need to kickstart my metabolism. And I have a slow metabolism and I think my metabolism might be broken. So I'm here to talk to you about what your metabolism actually is and how to make it work for you when you're trying to lose weight and get healthy. So let's start at the most obvious place. What is your metabolism? Well, the quick and easy answer is it is the process by which your body stays alive. Okay, that was easy, right? Let's go a little bit more deeper than that. Your metabolism is made up of numerous processes and chemical pathways that use energy in order for you to think, move, sleep, digest, and more. It's extremely complex. I want you to think of those aerial images you see of traffic jams on busy multi-lane highways or overpasses like in Hong Kong or Mexico or Brazil. It's like your metabolism. It's a chaotic paradise of a lot of things happening. And spoiler alert, your metabolism is not broken. It is likely adapted to your lifestyle. So bear that in mind as I go through this video. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the intricate workings of your metabolism. That's not important. But I've chosen a few key concepts when discussing metabolism, which will help you understand how it affects your weight loss and gain and what you can do to influence it in your favor. So the next step is, we know what metabolism is. What are the basic things that make up the metabolism? So the first one is your resting metabolic rate. This includes all the calories you burn during the day at rest. They are thinking, breathing, staying alive, and they account for almost 60% of your total calorific burn. The next is the thermic effect of food. Now this one is really interesting. Did you know that you burn calories while you eat? Yes, eating is a process which requires energy to do, so eating itself can burn calories. Some macronutrients even burn more calories during the eating and digesting process than others. So I want you to store that up here. That is something really important for you to know for later on. The next one is physical activity. This is all the purposeful activity that you do in your day, like working out, the calories you burn by sweating. Now, there's non-exercise activity, thermogenesis, or NEAT. Also bear this one in mind as we go ahead in this video. This is all of your accessory moving that you will do in your day, fidgeting, walking around, moving, jostling your leg. All right, let's talk calories and the term energy balance. Okay, so when explaining the above, I use the term calories. And even though the term calorie is widely used, I am not going to assume that everyone knows what a calorie is. A calorie is the energy used to heat 1 kilogram of water by 1 degree Celsius. How random is that? But basically, in order to find out how many kilocalories are in food, researchers and scientists will burn a piece of food in a closed container and see how much energy will raise the temperature of the water by 1 degree. Now that's a pretty random measurement, right? But looking at the concept burning a calorie or burning some fat, the imagery kind of works. But I wanted you to understand what a calorie is and how it's derived. Now, if we're talking about calories it takes to lose weight, our bodies rely on what's called the energy balance equation. Now, this sounds intense, but the concept is incredibly simple, and I bet that you've heard of it before. The acronym I use is called KICO, calories in, calories out. All right, and we're balancing calories in, calories out. When you take in more calories than what your body requires to burn in a day, you're in what's called a calorie surplus. You have extra. When you take in less calories than what your body requires to burn in a day, you're in what's called a calorie deficit, the kind of state you need to be in to lose weight. And finally, when you take in the same amount of calories as you burn, you maintain your weight. There's not extra, there's not any less. That is KICO and calories in, calories out, okay? A+. Now, the first question to ask yourself is, how many calories do I need to eat in a day to maintain my weight? Now, this is going to be different for everyone. It's dependent on your body size, how active you are, how much muscle is on your body, your genes, your epigenetics, your hormones, and so much more. It's a highly variable, complicated mess of things. But Jen, you say, technology is amazing. And when I put my age and weight into an activity tracker, it just tells me that I burn this much in a day. Okay, that's a great place for us to start. Let's dive into activity trackers and how they relate to your daily calorific intake and your specific amount. For example, the amount of daily calories an activity tracker can list for you is likely going to have some intrinsic error built in because the data is based on a series of general information from a lot of people. It's not going to be precise for an individual and how your body is made up and all the complexities that make up your metabolism. So you're really just hitting at a general number when you put your information into an activity tracker. Now, there's some that I like more than others if you want to try them out. There's activity trackers on the internet, like the one that I use through Precision Nutrition, and they have it on their website. If you're interested in finding out more about your daily calorific expenditure, I really suggest checking that one out. It's a favorite of mine. Otherwise, the only real scientific way to check your daily calorie expenditure is to go to a research lab. And I don't need to tell you that that gets frightfully expensive and invasive, and honestly, nobody needs to be that precise because your metabolism is highly adaptive and will change. So with that in mind, let's move on. There's a lot of underlying reasons why someone's daily calorific burn, how much they burn during the day, can be out of the general norm. So even though you might know how much you actually need, your burn might be different. For example, people who live in a colder climate have what's called more brown fat, and this can help them burn up to 400 more calories a day. Whoa. And there's one specific gene called the FTO gene that can be found in select people, and that will help them burn an extra 140 calories per day. But we don't know who has that gene just by looking at them or inputting it into a tracker. Sleep deprivation, which is true for anyone, even just for one night, can decrease your calorie burn by 5 to 20%. Hormones, such as the ones impacting a female's menstrual cycle, can affect her basal metabolic rate throughout the month, burning more at times, less than others. And also, if you have previous dieting attempts, that can also impact your rate of metabolism, your muscle mass, the macronutrients you eat, and your age. Yikes. That does already have us starting off on shaky ground. The introduction of calorie and workout trackers to help try to save us this guesswork by helping us lose weight actually caused some confusion when it doesn't work for us in our specific physical requirements. So this is why people ultimately feel like their metabolism is broken, because it doesn't relate to what the activity trackers are telling us. So I'm here to tell you that one, your metabolism is adaptive, but two, the activity trackers are not going to be precise. So let's start with workout trackers, because with the invention of the Apple Watch, more people are wearing them casually as wristwatches. So they now have the added benefit of tracking their activity calories and having more information than we've ever had before. Ultimately, no matter how advanced the tech, you can't account for every single one of those small chemical processes that make your rate of metabolism unique to you. When recording how many calories you burn during a workout, studies have shown that there's an error range of 9 to 23% error. That's plus and minus. That's actually quite a bit of error. So I'll put that into perspective for you. Let's say your activity tracker recorded you burnt 300 calories during your session. That could be off by plus or minus 9% at the lowest range, making your workout 270 to 328 calories burned, or at the higher range at 23%, which means you only burnt 230 calories, or 371. Whoa. So you can see the error can be quite frustrating. When you think you smashed an amazing session at the gym, you could be over recording the amount of calories you actually burned during your session, and that could put you into that calorie surplus during the day. My overall viewpoint on calorie trackers isn't negative. I think they're fantastic tools at better understanding your body. They can be great motivational tools to keep your desired amount of steps up or remind you when to stand up and move around. However, if you're relying them entirely to predict your weight gain or loss, it's a bit frustrating. And those little margins of error in your overall calorie burn can add up. So it may be enough to keep those sneaky pounds around, which is why you think your metabolism is broken or slow. It actually could just be a data error. The next are calorie trackers. These are what you can input your food in, and they tell you kind of how much calories that you're consuming. The most popular calorie tracker on the market is likely MyFitnessPal, but there are others that have come up over the years. I have tried a few, and I've seen what they're like, but they are equally as confusing as the next. Did you ever notice that if you want to put in a simple apple in a calorie tracker, you suddenly have to know if you ate 100 grams of the apple or a medium-sized apple, because the calorie data is different for both? Or if you had a dosa, how do you know if it was the one with less calories or more calories? Was it a large dosa? Was it a medium dosa? How much oil? I don't know. I just ate the dosa and it was delicious. So even with foods that seem really precise, like a packaged food that you think that there'd be very little margin of error because the calories are listed on the package, did I eat 50 grams of it or did I eat 2/3 of a cup? I don't know. I mean, it's really frustrating because for you to have the knowledge to input it incorrectly is not there oftentimes, unless you're weighing your food. So be prepared to be amazed, because I'm going to share with you some crazy facts about calorie counting with your food. The first is that packaged food labels can have a margin of error, acceptable error, of 20% by the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration. 20% wrong. The same medium-sized apple in MyFitnessPal also may have multiple calorie options, 83 to 116. The difference in sweet potatoes is astounding, 231 to 705. Are these entries wrong? No, but it's difficult to pinpoint the calorie value of your specific food because it depends on the freshness or even the time that it was picked. And number 3, food when it is raw has different calories than the same food when it is cooked, because the nutrients become more bioavailable when it's cooked. Like, for example, even the processing of food. So if you have raw peanuts, the amount that you actually will be available to you is more when they're blended. And number 4 is that we don't absorb all the calories that we eat, and this varies between person to person. We absorb calories based on our unique gut bacteria. So some people absorb more and some people absorb less, and we may not know who those people are. So there you have it, the joys of trying to count your calories to lose weight. It's mind-blowing. So that was a lot of information. Let me recount this all for you. KICO, calories in versus calories out, is the fundamental equation that determines whether you gain, lose, or maintain your weight. Your metabolism is susceptible to individual changes of body fat, genes, muscle mass, your age, hormones, and so much more. Activity trackers can have a margin of error that's between 9 and 23%, so they are not accurate. And calorie counters do not account for the margin of error in food. And finally, human nature is to underestimate the food we eat and overestimate the amount that we have worked out. So what does that mean for your metabolism? Okay, so to guess at your daily expenditures like blowing in the wind, we get that now. Every day the wind direction can change. This, of course, is frustrating when you're trying to lose weight or you're a data-driven person. But there must be a way to make sense of all this. How on earth can you manage to lose weight with all this margin of error? Don't worry, I'm here to help. So let's revert back to my list about your metabolism and what it's made of. Being alive, purposeful movement, non-purposeful movement, and the energy it takes to digest food. Now you might think, okay, great, I'm just gonna cut my food way down and hit the gym and kill it at the gym. But let me save you the trouble, guys, and tell you why. When you try to outsmart your body is smarter than you. I mentioned that your metabolism is likely very adaptive, and it's going to be adaptive to keep you alive. So if you drastically cut your calories or run an unplanned marathon, your metabolism is going to adjust to keep up with you. Okay, but here's what you can do to see changes in your metabolism to help you lose weight. Take out a pen and piece of paper. Sleep well, my friends. If sleep deprivation for only a single night can impact your calorific burn by 20%, put down the laptop, shut off your light, and get some sleep. Watch my video on how to hack a good night's sleep if you need effective sleep strategies. Move around as much as you can. Walk around the room when you're on the phone, help carry the groceries, take the stairs, take regular breaks from your desk and stretch on a mat. Do what it takes to continually keep your body in motion. Prioritize protein and fiber. Protein and fiber take longer to digest than other foods, which is why you feel fuller for much longer after consuming them. By focusing on protein on your plate, you're doing your bit to rev up your metabolism. Eat according to portion sizes rather than relying on calorie trackers. Learn to eyeball your food intake so you can make consistent, informed choices about your food. My favorite method is the hand-sized portion method. And lift some weights and build some muscle. A lot of people shy away from the gym because they're unsure of what to do. Instead, they do what they like to do, which is often the treadmill. But with a little guidance on posture and form, you should be able to hit the gym with no problem, from resistance bands to cable machines. Building muscle is an important part of revving the metabolism because the muscle is physiologically more expensive to have on your body, which means that muscle burns calories at rest. For the ladies in the audience, if you're worried about becoming bulky, watch my video on nutrition myths for more information. I know this was a lot, but I hope it was helpful.